Hello and welcome to Sound and Vision, episode 4. I am your host once again, Ian James, and again I am joined by the very beautiful, very talented Miss Hope Wade.
Hello.
And today we will be looking at the iconic franchise, Friday the 13th.
I'm scared already. I see something in the woods. I can't handle
Hard
it.
in the forest.
I'm not having sex tonight.
Shit. Okay, so what we have with the Friday the 13th franchise is 12 movies.
12?
Yeah. It's just kind of sad they didn't get to 13, but
Yeah.
maybe they still will. Maybe there's still time for. Not that I'm a fan of the later entries, but it's just it would be funny to finish that series on 13 movies.
Well, they were supposed to do 13. I think recently, 2 years ago, they were supposed to do one.
Yeah.
In October.
Yeah, because I think Michael Bay owns the franchise now.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of sad because he's a guy churning out terrible. I'm not saying Friday the 13th is very art, but this is a guy knocking out Transformer movies. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. But, yeah, we don't even talk about the latest Halloween 2018 again and how that turned out.
No.
So,
We don't want to spoil.
just saying.
We don't want to spoil your movie.
No.
Okay, so taking this right back to the beginning then. 1979 is where it all started. Mm-hmm. And it all started principally because of the success of John Carpenter's 1978 movie Halloween, which writer, director, producer Sean S. Cunningham noticed that there was money to be made from this tiny horror idea, the slasher as we know, as fans know it. Now Sean was working in the industry making documentaries and I think porn, soft porn movies, but during this time it got friendly with horror director Wes Craven, and together they he produced Last House on the Left for which Wes Craven's first film as a director. But years later, Sean S. Cunningham decided he wanted to get back into horror and seen the success of Halloween and thought, well, I can do this. So straight sort of early 1979, I think so the story goes, Sean S. Cunningham published an advert for a horror movie, and I forget what was on the poster now, but he called it Friday the 13th, you know, cashing in on the idea that Halloween was seasonal. And he thought, well, if I had a date or a season or something. So he came out with, so basically, Friday the 13th was an idea before it was even a film. It was a title before it was even a film.
Okay.
Friday the 13th stood out, and it was going to have a killer, and he was going to be killing teenagers. But that's all he knew. That was all he had. And he thought, I'm going to stick this ad press, put this poster out, and then get everyone excited, and then work on a movie. So,
well, that's so weird, but it worked.
Yeah, completely. It's a very strange one. I mean, it's a low budget movie. It was made for $550,000, I think. So, you know, £500,000 back then. You know, super cheap. Obviously made a ton more than that. Made independently.
Okay.
Based on an idea, which I think he gave the idea to Victor Miller then. The guy who wrote the actual finished screenplay and created all the characters, which, you know, I mean, he's obviously very rich now because those characters, that whole franchise built around him. And so during the summer of 1979, they made this movie at a working summer camp in New Jersey, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New Jersey.
Which is still a summer camp now, apparently. It's still
a
functional summer camp.
Yeah, I believe one of our friends in our group has gone to the location site.
Is this Michael?
Michael.
Michael Talbot, yeah.
Shout out there.
But yeah, and I think he goes there like most years, then you know, like an anniversary date of Friday the 13th.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it would
definitely.
be something fun to do. I would always love to do that.
Yeah, it's definitely something I would do too. So anyway, Sean S. Cunningham directs and produces this movie made during 1979 called Friday the 13th, made independently, picked up by Paramount Studios, which is that's the really funny thing here. Paramount Studios picked this movie up and distributed it the following year, which is funny thinking of big, you know, Paramount, we're talking Paramount Studios, you know, one of the big iconic film studios.
Definitely.
Picked this tiny movie up and ran with it. I mean, it's a simple story of
teenagers.
Yeah, once again.
Fornicating.
Hope's favourite subject.
Doing drugs.
And getting killed, getting punished for...
Being punished.
Yeah, kind of invented... I always think, if I'm being really honest, I always think Friday the 13th invented the rules more so than... I'm not saying it's a better movie than Halloween, because it clearly isn't, but I think it was a better template for the genre than Halloween.
It's definitely my favorite. It made me want to go to camp. Because even, like, not just to have sex or anything, but... or do drugs.
Your mum's listening to this.
Oh, shut. But just because you wanted to experience something creepy in the woods, you know?
Yeah.
Like which we did in Michigan's like a huge wood.
And then you've moved to the Forest of Deans, just once again
it's more campy,
surrounded by trees.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. I feel like in the darkness you can't see anything, so it's kind of scary. I can see that happening.
Okay. Yeah, well, yeah. This movie though, once again, like I said, it's made on low budget, so featuring kind of an unknown cast at the time. Mm-hmm. Harry Crosby, who's Bing Crosby's son.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's the guy. I mean, we can forget spoilers. I'm sure everyone has seen this movie now. So
if not, then just cut it off now.
Yeah. I think we can talk,
and go watch it.
I think we can talk freely though on this subject.
Definitely.
Harry Crosby.
I'm gonna anyway. So.
I think it's hard not to. But Harry Crosby's the guy who gets the arrow pushed through his eye, and he dies off screen, but you see him pinned to a door. You think he said the last one? He was playing strip poker with Adrian King, who plays Alice. Mm-hmm. Is obviously the final girl in this movie. Mm-hmm. Probably most notable, I guess, for Kevin Bacon, pre-fame, iconic death.
Oh, he had a great one.
Yeah.
Was that the double? Was that the double kill?
No, it was the arrow through the neck.
Oh, the arrow through the neck. Okay. Was it double kill in the bed, that one?
Yes,
I can't remember.
In
2? Okay, I see.
So many kills.
I know, but 2 is really memorable, so, but we'll get there.
Yeah, because a couple die having sex.
Yeah.
That's probably why Hope remembers it. So, yeah, and, I mean, a load of kids go to a summer camp. There's an old curse from years ago. There's an incident from years ago then, which kind of hangs over this summer camp. That there was a double kill in there. And it's not really kind of explained why it happened, but basically these kids, in 1979 go camping and the killings start happening again, and we don't know who's doing it. It's a bit of a who's done it for the first one, because this was a long time before the whole Jason thing manifested itself. And as I said, spoilers, hey ho, you're going to know all of it now. But Betsy Palmer, who features in the last sort of iconic 12 minutes of the movie.
Kill her, mommy.
That's the one, yeah.
Kill her.
That's the one. And also, we played the... Brilliant.
I just had to.
Very good. Which the whole Killer Mummy was worked into the score from Henry
Manfredini.
Yeah, that's the one.
I think.
Well, we'll go with that.
Well, it's spelled something like that.
Well, he came up with the score.
But he's excellent.
Yeah, and he came up with the score for this movie.
Yeah.
Which now I say it's an iconic score. I'm not talking it's Jaws or anything, but.
It's well known.
To the horror industry, which we know a massively part of. Yeah. It's iconic to us.
Yeah. I think if anybody hears it, they're like, "Oh my God, it's Jason."
Yeah, it's like horror fans is a dead set. So the whole Killer Mummy is brilliantly put to us by Hope. Just is worked into the score, which is the whole kick mama, isn't it?
Yeah. I remember reading about that.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's creepy.
Yeah, I think Harry worked on echoing the kind of voices into the score somewhere, and it works out quite well. And it's like I said, it's the thing that everyone knows.
And the fast pacing of it, when it gets you can feel Jason like walking quicker.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a very Bernard Herrmann inspired score, but then what wasn't around that time, obviously is score for Hitchcock's Psycho. But. Again, I think it's quite unique and it stands up on its own. I mean, every other score that he did after, there's elements of this score in there. I always find, as soon as I see his name I recognise the score before I even see his name sometimes. Like, he did Swamp Thing and The House and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's got a list of credits in the genre. And I say House, that's the Sean S. Cunningham who produced this. Who didn't really, after this movie, he didn't stay on for any of the sequels. I think he had a hand in some of the later ones as a producer, but he didn't stay on to direct any of them. And he certainly stayed in Hollywood to a smaller degree, and he didn't quite make the same level as, as I already mentioned, Wes Craven or anyone. But he still come up with Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
So yeah, what we touched on, as I said, Betsy Palmer, who's an old Hollywood actress, who I love, by the way, whose probably best parts was in The Tin Star, which was an old western with Anthony Perkins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and directed by Anthony Mann, who I think made the best westerns in the 1950s, which I'm sure John Ford fans will argue me with. And she also did Mr. Roberts as well, the film with Jack Lemmon, which is directed by John Ford. So she has a Hollywood pedigree.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. And it's quite funny thinking she was called up to do work on this movie, and like I said, she's literally in it for 12 minutes, but she completely steals the movie. She's so good.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's quite a cheapy, cardboardy kind of thriller. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. I mean, then you're going to get a lot of people in this horror community who are going to say, oh, you know, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. You know, it's kind of cheap, and it's made on the I don't know, because of a tight budget.
It's still well done. Effective.
Yeah, it's still got a lot going for it. Like I said, and especially Betsy Palmer, and also we should add the effects by Tom Savini, which I think is a real selling point of
very much
of this movie, that he was brought aboard to add his expertise.
Yeah,
to
definitely.
The kills, which I'm still sad though, because I don't want to spoil the whole thing, but there's a lot of kills that were off screen, and I remember being slightly younger, being disappointed by that.
Yeah, because you didn't really see Jason. You didn't see Jason in the first one.
No. Well. No.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like, so...
But Jason wasn't even meant to be... Jason's just the kind of MacGuffin for the plot, really, isn't he? It's not even that... It's not... He's just to kind of push the film along. The idea of Jason is not... it wasn't about Jason.
The ending scared the crap out of me
when
I was a kid.
Yeah. The ending's interesting because it's not in Victor Miller's original screenplay. It's not there. Tom Savini suggested it when they were on set making the movie.
Okay.
Because... he pointed out to everyone on set that Carrie from 1976 had the iconic, Carrie reaching out the grave. And he said, we should do something like that. We should make the audience jump. Sean S. Cunningham was very excited by this because he wanted this movie to resemble the horror roller coaster. He wanted it to be, a popcorny, watch it with your friends kind of movie. So he jumped at Tom Savini's idea, and he said, but who's going to because in Victor Miller's original screenplay, Alice kind of glides off on the boat. She is on the lake in the boat, but it kind of drifts out and it ends there. Yeah. And so they come up with this idea of something jumping at the lake. And I think Tom Savini even suggested, why don't we have Jason jump at the lake? Which I'm not... I mean, it works as a scare. I think...
It definitely worked as a scare.
But in terms of the plot and stuff, because me and you've discussed this before, and I've always joked that Jason's not dead then, is he? And if Jason's not dead, why is his mother avenging him?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense later on. And especially, what year did the second one come out?
Well, Friday the 13th was released in 1980. On that small budget I mentioned, it made a lot of money. So the doors opened up for sequels. And it's a year, 1981.
Yeah, and so was it set in that year? Because what, did he grow overnight?
No, exactly. I can't... It's been so long since I've seen part 2 now, but I'm sure it opens up with 7 years later or something like that, which is...
Oh, does it? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I have to watch it again. But...
Well, he's pretty big for 7 years later.
And Jason is, as we'll move on now to the second of the franchise. Friday the 13th Part 2, directed by Steve Miner, who comes on there to direct 2 and 3 and then disappears.
Oh, so, okay.
Yeah.
Well, those are my favorite ones.
Yeah.
And 4, but those are some of my favorites.
Steve does he does a pretty good job. He also directed House. Again, to the Sean S. Cunningham connection still there. Directed Soul Man, interestingly enough, which we watched recently. Which we had a good laugh at.
He did Soul Man.
He did do Soul Man.
Oh, Lord.
And he kind of got pulled back to the genre in the late 90s where he did H2O.
Okay.
Halloween sequel, and also did Lake Placid, which less said about that, the better.
I don't think I've seen that one, so I guess that's...
You're doing well.
Okay, good.
So yeah, we get the second Friday the 13th movie. We're now onto the idea that... Well, interesting, before we talk, Adrienne King, we've already told everyone, survives the first one and is on the lake with Jason jumps out and stuff. She opens up the second movie and dies in the first 5 minutes. So they've brought her back. They've reprised the character. I think originally, though, she was written to have a big part in the second one.
Okay.
But she had a real... you'd have to Google all this stuff, but there was a famous incident in real life where she had a stalker.
Oh, okay.
because of the first one.
I think I read something about
So
that.
she got out of the industry as quick as she started it. And she agreed to come back and help out.
Only part of it.
I literally do 10 minutes, I'll do a couple of scenes,
Yeah.
and I don't want nothing I want out the industry. Which is, kind of
Kind of sad, yeah.
Of course it is, yeah. So she does the opening 10 minutes and that's all she gets, even though originally it was written a bit for her. So we kill her character off by a mystery assailant. We just point out as well that the murders in the first one is we're finally worked out as being Betsy Palmer, who plays Jason Voorhees' mum. So
kill her, mommy.
yeah, that classic bit of trivia that Jason is not in the first Friday the 13th.
That was just her crazy voice in her head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a schizophrenic mum out for revenge, and she turns up for the last 10 minutes, and there's a big battle, and she gets her head chopped off.
The iconic sweater, turtleneck sweater.
Yeah.
Or
With great
was it
Tom
turtleneck?
Savini
Yeah.
beheading as well at the end of that.
Oh, yeah. And,
Anyway,
and it shows up in part 2.
It does, yeah, which is where we get back to now. So the Adrian King Alice character is killed off really early on, and we're 5 or 7 years later, I can't remember now. And Camp Crystal Lake is open for business again. And so enroll the horny teenagers.
Love
Who go up there and get killed one by one again. But this time, we find out that who's doing the killings this time is actually Jason.
it. Yeah.
The little boy at the end of the first one, he was supposedly dead. Now, Tom Savini wouldn't come back for this one on the sheer principle that he hated the idea that Jason was in there. He's like, why's Jason, Which is funny because he suggested
I
the
know. I was
ending.
just gonna say, didn't he just want him to come back? Like, so it doesn't.
I don't think he even thought it would get a sequel.
But he wanted him to come back
For a,
so
cheap,
what,
for
he
a cheap
can't-
scare.
He wouldn't be mad though.
But I think in his eyes it's like, did the first one, was that a dream at the end?
Right, like it could have been a dream.
Yeah.
Because she did wake up in the
Which- because-
hospital, didn't
yeah.
she? It was like...
And it's a dream. I mean, the ending that he's taken from is in Carried. I mean, that's a dream as well, isn't it? Where Amy Irving wakes up on the bed and her mum comes in and she's dreamt Karazhan committing the grave or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think Tom Savini, I think he put it out there in all goodwill that we'll have this little dream ending, it'd be really funny. But, what he didn't realise is the following year, we're going to go with Tom Savini's idea, we're going to have Jason be the killer. And I think he was just like, no, that's just ridiculous, I'm not doing it. And he didn't do it. And he went, I'm pretty sure, he went off to work on, I think, The Burning or The Prowler. So one of the classic, one of the great slasher movies. Mm-hmm. So he missed out on Friday the 13th Part 2 to go and do The Burning or the Prowler, I forget which one. Maybe both of them. They were both all made during the iconic slasher year of 1981.
Yeah.
When I think all the best slasher movies were made that year, or a lot of the best ones anyway. So he misses out on this one, which is a shame. I mean, there's still good kills in this one. I think a lot of what is put out there though is missing footage, as far as I know. I think Paramount Pictures, who put like I said, picked up the franchise, I think edited so much out of this, and to this day there's fans crying out for the full version of Friday the 13th Part 2 because it's missing. So if you watch it and you take off the flashback scene which opens up the movie, I think it's literally 75 minutes long, which is incredible. It's so short.
Yeah.
Which I think tells you that there's lots of stuff missing.
Yeah. The first scene of part 2. Is that what you're saying?
The whole movie.
Yeah.
It's such a short movie.
Yeah, it is. It's only 75 minutes long.
Yeah, if you take off the flashback at the beginning,
Oh,
because there's a
okay.
massive recap of the first one.
Yeah, there is.
But it's good, a decent movie, and in some ways, even though it's so short and jagged and not polished, I think in some ways it's even better than. I prefer it to Part 1. I think in some way. I know it's not as iconic, but I think the plus point being Amy Steele.
Amy Steele, yeah.
He was a brilliant final girl. And
yeah.
Possibly the best final girl of the whole franchise, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah. Even though it's not my favourite movie of the franchise.
Exactly. But she was one of the best because it had
It's
one of
not
the...
the best, yeah.
Yeah, it had a great... Well, she was from April Fool's Day too. I can't remember if they did that after or before.
After.
But the scene at the end, iconic, when he jumps through the window and grabs her, and that is another...
They go with the surprise ending again, yeah. Amy still has a great, face-off with Jason, and she thinks she's killed him, and that's how the film ends, and then she goes back, and everything's good, everything's safe, and then, the big crash through the window.
Oh, yeah, that freaked the hell out of me.
Where he jumps through with the dungarees on.
He took his sack off there, yeah, his overalls.
He had the dungarees on. He's
Did he?
hillbilly Jason into, isn't he? He's wearing the burlap sack on his head.
Yeah.
This
The
is
big
Hillbilly
sack.
Jason, this is.
Hillbilly Jason.
Yeah, first when you get Freddy's Freddy, Jesus.
Yeah, Jason. I know what you mean.
Of course.
Jason Voorhees' mom.
Yeah, and in the second one we get Hillbilly Jason.
Hillbilly Jason.
Yeah.
His overalls. And
And
his sack.
That is the one with the... not his sacks.
Not his sack, actual sack. But
not his John Saxons.
I mean, I would hope he would have a sack, but I don't know.
No. But that is the one with the iconic double spear and death on the bed, which you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I love that
which
kill.
is stolen from Mario Bava's Twitch of the Death Nerve, or Bay of Blood, as I think is better known. Yeah, a lot of the elements of Friday the 13th are taken from Mario Bava's
nice.
71 movie. And the kills, in particular in this one, and that double spear bed scene is taken from Bay of Blood.
There was a lot of good kills in that one, especially even the
wheelchair.
and
Yeah.
the guy with the machete, got the
Yeah,
machete in the head.
face, yeah, fantastic
and he
stuff.
just rolls right down the stairs.
Yeah,
and it was like in
a lightning storm.
Yeah, and it was like a never-ending stairs. The stairs
it just goes on
never
forever.
end. Yeah.
The wheelchair keeps rolling. It's probably still rolling now.
It's still rolling off. It rolled. Did it roll into the lake? I can't remember.
I don't know. That would have just been too good. Okay, so yeah, we finally meet Jason. We get the best final girl of the franchise, which then makes money, and which leads us into the following year, which is 1982, which we get Friday the 13th, Part 3 in 3D.
My favorite. I love it.
Yeah.
It's just best Jason, Richard Broker.
It was British.
Who is British, tall, chesty British man.
Yeah.
And the score and everything else about it was just amazing.
Yeah.
It had the disco porn score opening,
which Hope loves.
I absolutely love it. I would dance to it all the time when it comes on.
And the fact that it's in 3D, which
of
is
course.
what a bonus for
and
you.
it's shooting at you. You know, it's coming out. It is like everything's shooting at you.
There's an arrow and an eyeball.
Yeah.
And
the yo-yo.
the yo-yo, yeah.
The pick, the fort.
In the
pitchfork.
barn.
Yep. Yeah. So everything's just coming at you. And
I think,
and
we finally get the barn showdown in 3, which is reused loads later on in the franchise, but the first barn showdown, which ends with Dana Kimmel, who's the final girl on this one.
Yeah.
It was also in Sweet 16, another slasher movie from that time.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, she's a good final girl too.
Yeah, she was good.
So yeah, decent final girl, good, like I said, good Jason.
Yeah, the cast I liked. You had Shelley, the jokester, who nobody liked his jokes. And
is this the kid who finally gives Jason his costume, the iconic hockey mask?
Jason steals his mask
And
after he kills him.
Yeah, and that was the start of Jason's new identity.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure when they were making this movie, it was just applied to give him, we had the burlap sack in Part 2, so I think it was just an idea to give him something to cover his face.
Yeah, because they were done with the sack. Nobody wants the sack.
So we get something new in this one. No, they give him the sack.
Yeah.
He didn't lose his job, but yeah, they give him the mask for this one.
Yeah.
Which works out.
I know.
Gives him a distinct.
It's just weird that they kept it throughout the whole thing. They never switched it up after that. Whose idea? Do you know whose idea that was? Yeah.
But,
it worked.
It created an icon.
I know, because now every time you see a hockey mask, you just think of Jason.
Absolutely. Free's got some good kills as well. Just got to touch on that again. Steve Miner again is directing, so same director come into this one. This time, it's not camp counselors, if I remember correctly, but it is a lot of kids obviously going. It's not too different, kids are going to the wood, but aren't they renting a house or something?
Yeah, they rented a cabin, or it was like the one main girl's cabin, family cabin,
it's
I
something
think.
Like that, isn't
it? I think so. But it had a history because she was scared, wasn't she, to go there?
There's a flashback, isn't there?
Yeah.
Of Jason with no mask.
Like she dealt with him before.
Yeah, so she knew of his presence, that he's kind of...
Was it in Part 2? Was she one of the kids? Was her kids? No? Okay. I don't know.
No, it's all new to it in the third one, but there's a little flashback that they built into the story.
That's another one that had a different ending on it, supposedly.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, because I have the vinyl and of that because
Which you're very proud of this score.
Yeah, I love the score to it, and
which we're gonna get a little taste of.
We can do a little taste of it. Yeah, so the vinyl
Yeah.
has the artwork, because it's done by Waxwork, which is a well-known
Label.
vinyl. Yeah, they do releases of
Okay,
a lot
old
of horror
scores.
movies, scores,
Yeah.
and even other movies. But they had an artist do the edited scene from
Okay,
part
just
3.
to kind of show.
Yeah, because
what was going to be there.
Yeah, because, at the end, he freaks you out. I think he took the mask off, right? And he's in the window,
Yeah,
and he's, like, staring at her.
Yeah, which really scared me as a kid, by the way. If I was to ever pick 2 scenes from the whole franchise, I'll pick the one up later, but this one and that one were
Yeah.
the 2.
Another ending that scared the fuck out
Yeah,
of
where
me.
he's looking at the top of that barn. Like,
Yeah.
Really, like he's gone nuts.
Yeah, and, his face is all deformed, and,
He's
it's
and he's angry.
and he's angry. He's angry with his craziness that's going on. And so the scene is supposed to be he comes down and he chops her head off.
Okay, because Dana
with the
Kimball
machete.
is now on a boat.
Yeah.
Again, imitating the scene from part 1.
Part 1, yep. But she was, they didn't want to actually kill her off at the end, but that they did film it that way, and then they said they didn't want her to die,
That would have been the bleakest ending of any of them.
I think they should have left it.
The one with no final girl.
Yeah.
Would
Yeah.
have been awesome.
I think it would have been a good ending,
But instead, they go with a scene that really bothers me.
Yeah.
It's like...
Shoved her in the boat.
Put her in the boat. Who can jump out of the water this time? Oh, we'll make it Jason's
Mom. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's just,
Which is on the back of the vinyl record cover. It's the artwork. Yeah.
It's a shoddy ending to a good movie, in the franchise.
Yeah, they shouldn't have done that. They should have just killed her, chopped her head off, threw it in the woods, whatever. And then just ended it, be like, oh, okay.
They should definitely let you make the 13th movie in the franchise.
The 13th?
It will be nihilistic.
Oh, no. Me and my friend Eve already thought Jason in Detroit. We're doing it because...
He's going to your hometown.
Oh, yeah, because we have woods there where
Okay.
a lot of people go camping in Michigan. We have the setting in Michigan. So, Jason in Detroit, it's going to happen.
Watch this space.
What?
Watch this space.
Yep, 2025. That's it.
That means we've got 2 years to do the Ferris Bueller sequel.
Yep. Geriatrics.
Okay.
It's
So-
going to be awesome.
Yeah. Which... Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D, Hope's favourite. It has the score, it has her favourite Jason, it has a lot of really creative kills, I think. Leads us into 1984. Again, these films are still making money. I'm not 100% sure why they decided this, but Paramount wanted to kill the franchise, and so the following year we'll make one more of these movies and we'll call it Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter. They didn't even want to call it Part 4. It was just, let's get this done and dusted.
Okay, so they didn't even want to do any more after that.
Strangely, no, which is weird because, like I said, they were making money. But okay, so this time round, they are Joseph Zito to direct it. Is had a quite a notable career in making movies, action films in the decade. Did Invasion USA with Chuck Norris, Red Scorpion with Dolph Lundgren. But he was hired to do this one because of his work on The Prowler.
Okay.
Okay, he directed The Prowler, and whoever's seen that was like, he's the man to do the job for this movie. So he's brought in to direct. Tom Savini comes back for the first time since the first one. On the
Yeah, I thought he came back.
yeah, he does this one because he said, let me kill off Jason.
Oh.
This is called The Final Chapter.
Yeah.
I created the character coming out of the water, and let me make sure we kill him off.
Yeah.
So he's back on board.
So he just wanted to make sure he was dead.
Yeah,
and
because
dead
I like
and
guts full
gone.
of these movies.
Yeah.
But the fans didn't, and I certainly don't. And I have to say here that this is my favourite
Yeah.
in the whole franchise. Part
It's a
4.
good one. It's another one that the effects, he did a good job because I was freaked out by Corey
One
Feldman,
particular scene,
who played Tommy Jarvis.
And the first
young-
of the Tommy trilogy is known now.
The first of the Tommy. Oh God, it's just so creepy. Like if you're just skipping around to the end part and just talking about when he shaves his head and comes back to try and convince him that he's a young Jason or something, isn't he? And it's just, and even when he was killing him, it was relentless. He just like chopping him up with that machete.
Tom Savini goes to town on that one.
Yeah, it's so good. But even Corey Feldman as an actor, you could feel it. Like he was just really wanted him gone. He's like, die, motherfucker. I want you dead.
Yeah, he does it. And Corey Feldman, I mean, I've watched a lot of interviews. He's quite open to doing a lot of interviews about this, Friday the 13th. He really, really enjoyed doing it. He really wanted to do it. He had fun doing it. He wanted to do more. And which we'll go back into in a minute. Basically, the story this time is Jason is picked up from the barn from part 3, as it originally ended before the boat scene. And then is taken to the local morgue with his mask on, which is the best way. Still, the coroner doesn't want to take his mask. Maybe he doesn't want to look at his face.
How did he get back on? Because he had it off when he was in the window, going all nuts. He's like apish.
He had it off.
Oh, he had it off? Yeah.
Completely different expression in this country. But yeah. So yeah, Jason's taken to the morgue with the mask.
Okay.
It's back. I don't know if it got back on him, but maybe the coroner just didn't want to look at his face, so he put the mask back on.
I love how they just made him pretty again.
Yeah,
Let's just put the mask on him.
Okay, and this time we focus on a family that live in the area, so we've got an excuse to bring, well, not completely, because the kids do come up there, but we have a family.
Yeah, they come to visit.
We have a mum and a daughter played by Kimberly Beck, who I quite like, and is good friends with Roseanne Arquette in real life.
Okay.
Corey Feldman plays the younger brother, Tommy Jarvis, as Hope just mentioned, who's like a horror, special effects obsessed kid, almost kind of based on Tom Savini. And they live in a little house, and I can't remember if they rent the one opposite or there's an house opposite them, that once again a load of young kids come up to the house.
Yeah.
Where we get Judy Aronson, who was in American Ninja and Weird Science. Crispin Glover.
Yeah, love him.
Yeah, me too.
One of my favorite actors.
With that crazy dance sequence that he does. Still not the best dance in the franchise, which we'll get to later.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think Peter Barton's in it as well. He was in Hell Night. This is, I think it has the best cast. Again, for me personally, it has the best kills of the franchise. It's definitely got the best cast of the franchise overall. And some really
a good story.
Yeah, and I love the whole showdown at the end where we have a final girl, but with the aid of her little brother, and it works out.
Yeah.
I think, and then you got this guy who's coming up to the area to hunt. We got the Jason Hunter, as he's known among the fans of this franchise. This young kid that lost his sister in part 2 or part 3, I forget which one, but he comes up there to sort it out as well. And there's lots of little things going on. It's quite an interesting one. And I said, like, the kills are really good. Yeah. Crispin Glover's in particular, probably my favourite kid of the whole franchise. He gets the meat cleaver in the face and a corkscrew in the end.
Oh, yep. Who was his friend again?
Yeah, I forget his name now, but he's in The Last American Virgin. He's also in Mask, where he's Eric Stoltz.
His friends. Okay, I knew he was familiar. He played
That's what I mean, the
Rocky.
cast. I mean, for a little low-budget horror movie, I think it's my favourite cast of the whole franchise. And the end scene where Kimberly Beck and Corey Feldman are being chased, sort of, because there is a template to these movies. You get down to the final girl and there's a cat and mouse for the last 12 minutes. Yeah. That was the same way. But this time it's a little bit interesting because, it's 2 against Jason. Yeah. And, Corey Feldman outwits Jason by dressing up as him in like, as Hope said, probably the creepiest scene in the whole franchise, I think. And then destroys him in brutal machete slaying. They were properly doing their job on this and killing Jason off, which, for me personally, I think they could have ended there. And I would have been really happy. Because I think it's such a high point. For me personally, it's such the high point of the whole series. It's such a perfect ending. We've chopped, Because for me, I kind of start zoning out from this movie. Because they've chopped him to bits now.
Yeah, and then it just goes into shit 5. So, I mean, I know.
It goes into the great part 5, by the way. Before we touch on it, though, at the end of the final chapter, Corey Feldman's in an hospital, I don't know if you remember. And him and his sister are taken away to the hospital. That's the only survivors of the movie. And Kimberly Beck goes into the room to sort of comfort her younger brother, and Corey Feldman kind of looks out to camera, one of those classic looking to the camera shot, over her shoulder with like this almost like demonic face.
Oh yeah, you think he's going to be the
killer.
And
I think if ever they were thinking of picking up the franchise, that was the way they were going to do it, that now Tommy could, if we're going to carry this franchise on, even though it's called, you kind of cheated because it's called the final chapter, but I think if it was to carry on, then Tommy would become the killer.
Which they tried in a couple episodes, but it just they didn't stick to it. They made him seem a little crazy or something.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, that was the high point of the series for me personally. From here, though, I mean, I think the final chapter is the top of the mountain. So now it's all downhill, unfortunately. I'm starting to look at firstly. Obviously, the final chapter makes money, so it's not the final chapter. And 1985, we have the release of another movie. This one, Friday the 13th, A New Beginning, which is not particularly well liked by
Boo.
a lot of people. But I actually think it does have a lot to offer. And I personally think it's a lot better than some of the ones that come after. Anyway, story-wise this time, the Tommy character from the previous one, now he's a bit older, is now played by a different actor, because Corey Feldman originally wanted to make this movie, but unfortunately he was tied up with making The Goonies.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's happy with his choice now, though.
Yeah.
But you know, he has said in the past he was disappointed not to do it. But anyway, he features in a pre-credit sequence where it's basically a dream of him seeing Jason dug up and coming back to life, which is a pretty cool opening sequence, filmed in Corey Feldman's back garden, by the way, which makes you wonder the size of Corey Feldman's property at that point.
Yeah.
This is like a big woodland.
It was filmed in his garden?
In his garden.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Anyway, so the film opens up, and the new actor is now playing Tommy, who is now older. I think it's classic Friday the 13th universe. We're like 6 or 7 years on from Final Chapter. And the Tommy character has now become catatonic. It's very strange. He acts very strange.
I don't like him.
Yeah, you got a problem with this one. He goes to a halfway institute, which is based, again, in Camp Crystal, the area. Where we meet a new assortment of teenagers, which we're all going to get killed off. Each one being a stereotype, if you like. Particular favourite of mine being Violet.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
The one that did not know how to new wave dance.
She was so new wave.
No, she wasn't.
Was she a goth?
She took over Terry Nunn's hairdo, so I don't know. And I don't know what dance that was.
I think she inspired Terry.
You're right.
Okay. So this time, the thing I like about New Beginning though is Jason, everyone knows this. Jason is not doing the killings this time. And that's the kind of, for me, that's the cleverness in the movie. I think the movie has guts to try something completely different. Originally, so I read, is that after Final Chapter, they were going to make 3 more Friday movies where each one, the killer would be someone you didn't expect it to be. So they're basically going to make 3 murder mysteries.
Oh, okay.
But, as we know, this one didn't do so well box office-wise or anything. So they cancelled that whole idea.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go back on part 5 and give it another go. I just didn't like the characters that much. Tommy was fucking lame. He was the lamest Tommy out of all of them.
The 3, because this is the part of the Tommy, as we're going to mention, this is part of the Tommy trilogy, isn't it?
Yeah, and I didn't like him at all. So if it would have had one of the other ones, I would have probably enjoyed it better. The people I didn't really care for, so maybe I would have liked it more if it did. But I'll have to go back. I'll go back and
I
watch
personally
it again.
think it's the last one to have any original Friday the 13th flavour. I think after this, they just become gimmicky movies, which I'll kind of, as we work our way through them, not so much in depth, because there really isn't a lot to say about some of them, in my opinion, of the later ones. I'm sure fans will argue with me. But they become gimmicky after this one, I thought, anyway. So here, basically someone's doing the killings. We're not sure at certain points of the movie whether it's Tommy or not. Then we come to realise at the end that there is... there is a guy who's been going around dressed up as Jason, avenging his son for some incident, which you'll go and check out the movie if you haven't. Just kind of, so it saves me filling in the whole story. There's some inventive deaths, I think, in it. There's apparently it's the most nudity out of any Friday the 13th movie. As a record.
The most nudity?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
In that one?
Yep.
All right, we'll have to go back for sure and watch that.
And just the last thing I'll say about it is that Melanie Killerman, who plays Pam, the lead actress in it, is apparently said that she's been almost attacked at any fan convention she's gone to, as if she's to blame for making the movie. People always come to her and say, "Oh, you were in Friday the 13th Part 5, it was awful." And fans take, I know fans take this stuff seriously, but please, if you're a fan, don't attack anyone at a convention if you don't like the movie.
It's not real.
It's not their fault. There's such thing as writers.
Yeah.
So that's final.
Well, didn't they rehash a little bit the ending, like you mentioned in part 4, where they had the boy and the girl?
Yeah. This time, Pam is with little boy Reggie.
Yeah,
as I remember.
So in the barn, that it always ends up in a barn somewhere.
Yeah.
So it kind of brings back a little bit of recycled, from the other movies.
But this is where we are with these films now. There's nowhere originals to go. So the gimmicks creeping as we're just about to discover for part 6. I quite like the fact that Jason's not in it. Can I point out as well that Jason it is mentioned in this movie that Jason not only is dead, but he's cremated. Okay, so Jason is now a box of ashes. Okay, so if you're fans of the later ones, explain how he's even
How
in
he
them.
comes back.
Oh,
How does he
absolutely.
like fuse his body back into
Yeah.
a human form?
Yeah, he
And-
is cremated. So yeah, but the end part of this movie as well is again very similar to part 4. Tom is again in a hospital type place. The Pam character comes into a room because she hears a crash through a window, thinking, "Oh, Tom has escaped." Because at this point, Tommy starts talking again. He's been catatonic all movie, which I hope would be really happy about. But he does start talking in the last sort of 5 or 10 minutes.
Oh Lord.
And at the hospital, it looks like he's escaped through a window, so Pam rushes into the room, and then the next minute the door swings back, and Tom is there with the hockey mask on. I don't know why he's got the hockey mask, but he does. And it's like, oh, so Tommy could be a killer. So again, it's left cliffhangery for part 6.
Okay.
But because the film flopped, that idea was completely scrapped. And so the following year, let's make money again. It's 1986. It's Friday the 13th, part 6. Jason lives.
And isn't he dug up again?
Yeah, in this one.
Okay.
But it's brilliant because it's Jason lives. It's like we need the audience to realise Jason is in this. Please come back and spend more money at the cinema. I promise you, he will be in this one, okay? Even though he was cremated. So what happens at 1986? Tommy, the last of the trilogy, is now played by a different actor. It's played by Tom Matthews, I knew.
Which I like.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with you. I think he is a better
He
Tommy.
was good, yeah.
Slightly jockey, which I'm
Yeah.
not sure fits the previous 2 Thomas, but I like Tom Matthews. He was in Return of the Living Dead. He does a good job here too.
Yeah.
And basically, this one's directed by Tom McLaughlin, I think it is, who did some TV, a lot of TV horrors. He did, like, sometimes they come back in things.
Okay.
Should mention as well that the last one was directed by Danny Steeman, who did Savage Streets. He directed New Beginning with Linda Blair.
Linda Blair, yeah.
But yeah, bringing it back to part 6. So basically, we've got a new director who had some decent ideas. He said, I want to bring it back to his kind of gothic flavour in. And
Gothic, is that what he was going for?
the opening sequence, which I really like. I like...
Oh, with the graveyard.
Yes,
And,
and that was semi-based on...
and Horseshack, really? Like Horseshack
It's Thomas' friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, which you pointed out to me. I think we've seen him in something recently, Howgate, I think it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one starts with a good gothic kind of opening in the graveyard, which I really like. Which is a kind of throwback to the opening of Frankenstein and the Skull by Hammer, not Hammer, Amicus. Sorry. There's a good graveyard opening sequence. We wanted to do something like that, and we have the Tommy character for some reason. He needs to dig up Jason to prove that he's still dead. I want to see Jason dead, even though he's been cremated. So they go there, open up the grave, dig him out, have a good look at him. He looks really well preserved in his gloves and his utility belt and stuff. And then they, drive a big part of the fence gate or something inside him, stab it in there a little bit. And then obviously lightning hits it, so the Frankenstein homage is complete now.
Oh, yeah.
The lightning bolt hits the rod and it resurrects or reanimates Jason. And so he gets out the grave and it's Friday the 13th again.
I don't remember, does Tommy give him back the mask since he had it on
He
in
does,
the last
yes.
one? Or was Jason wearing it?
We ignore that he had even put that mask on. We ignore everything from 5 almost.
Okay, so Jason was dug up with the mask.
No, he does take the mask there.
Oh, okay.
He has the
does.
mask and he throws it in there. Almost like throws it in and
Throws
says,
it in his
can
face?
you please put it back on so we can make more money? He's almost there with feels.
But if he was scared of Jason, why did he want him to live? Why did he want him to come back?
He didn't. He wanted to just dig him up and look at him, just to know he's dead. I need to see him.
But he was cremated. Oh, it makes no sense.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway,
I'm so confused.
So basically, this time Jason is resurrected via Frankenstein-style lightning rod, and then he ventures back into Crystal, the whole town where it's based, and he chases the teenagers around. And we're back in that territory. This time, Tommy teams up with the sheriff's daughter to solve the mystery. They make a good little pair.
I
That
liked
bit's pretty
it.
cool.
Yeah, I liked part 6. It
Yeah.
was fun, cheesy.
Definitely, yeah. I think like I said, I think 5 is the last sort of flavour of the original Friday the 13th. Went to something different now because this one's played more like a black comedy. I remember there being a scene. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember there being a scene with the cadet like soldiers type people. As I'm kind of doing actions to hopefully wonder why the hell she's laughing. We're not playing footsie or anything. And he's got a few decent kills
It's more of a jerk off motion than it was going on a minute ago.
Yeah, that means something completely different in Europe.
Okay.
And it wasn't that. But this one is a bit of trivia for you. I know you'll appreciate. This is the one that has no nudity. It's the only Friday the 13th movie that has no nudity.
I don't believe it.
Not even
Are you serious?
Not even a nipple.
Now that I think about it, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
There's the crotch shot where she shoves his head in her crotch when she's driving.
Yeah, but even that's...
Yeah, she's not nude or wearing a skirt or anything, but Jesus, no
No,
sex,
no.
and I liked it.
And no yeah, exactly. And no nudity. So this is like a black comedy, and there's the opening scene where we get Jason walking on doing his whole, in the crosshair James Bond type opening, which is a little bit silly. And like I said, the humour is really ramped up in this one, and then there's an Alice Cooper song playing over it at a certain point. It just doesn't feel like Friday the 13th anymore, despite it being fun. And it is fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jason meets his comeuppance by being chained to a big rock and sent to the bottom of the ocean, or the pot of Crystal Lake, wherever he was. Basically, let's send him back where he came from. So we'll...
In the lake.
So they, yeah, and yeah.
And he's in the lake now.
Tied to a rock with a chain around his
rock.
neck. Which, there is an ornament in fish tanks
Yes.
currently floating around, which I know you really like.
Yeah, I like the ornament in fish tanks.
Yeah, which is based on this.
On that one, or was it?
No,
is it
this
based
one.
on the following
This one. No, based on
Really?
this one. Yeah, that is
Okay.
it. Part 6.
But yeah, if I had a fish tank, I'd have a floating
Yeah.
Jason in there.
So Tommy finally gets to put Jason back at the bottom of Crystal Lake, and it's bye-bye from Tommy as he kind of exits the series at this point now. So now Tommy is happy and he's hit redemption of some sort. I don't know. It's all a bit odd. But anyway, yeah, Jason's back at the bottom of Crystal Lake, and part 6, that may be the end of it. Of course it's not. We see Jason's eye open up at the bottom of the lake. He will be back.
He's still alive.
Absolutely. And in 1988...
So now he can't die.
No, because he's zombie Jason
Zombie
now.
Jason.
Like I said briefly just now, this is the start of the gimmick Friday the 13th, and part 6 is zombie Jason.
Yeah.
Is the best way to look at it.
Oh, Lord.
So, 1988, and we reach Friday the 13th, part 7. This one's called A New Blood,
Okay.
because basically the series has gone stale, in my opinion. And A New
Did he
Blood...
get a blood transfusion?
No, this is basically they might as well be saying we're trying to inject some new blood into the series because it has become that stale, in my opinion. This is the first of Kane Hodder's appearances as Jason,
Oh, okay.
which is really pleased, I hope.
No, he's not my favorite.
So yeah, Kane Hodder turns up for part 7. So now Jason is become a bodybuilder, muscle man, something he never was. I mean, Jason the
I
Jock.
know.
This
How
is the
does he
start
get
of Jason
built
the
up?
Jock.
Do you think the water pumped him up or something?
I reckon somebody had been fishing using steroids. So instead of chumming the water, they've been chucking steroids in. And
Okay.
He sucked it up somehow. Anyway, so zombie Jason at the bottom of the lake is now played by the hulking Kane Hodder, who's just not Jason in my eyes, and he's
No.
definitely not Jason in Hope's eyes. Anyway, so he's at the bottom of the lake as he was in part 6. But this time he's resurrected by a young girl that tries to resurrect her dad and messes up because her dad died in the same lake. And this girl has the powers of Carrie.
Yeah.
So I always
she's
say
like Carrie, right?
Yeah.
She's like got psychic powers
she does, and so it's basically Carrie
or
versus
telekinesis. I guess.
Carrie versus Jason.
Oh, okay.
Is that exciting you?
No, not really.
And so it shouldn't. It's terrible. Lame deaths for me, except for the sleeping bag kill, which
Yep.
is an iconic one for the fans.
Yeah, been used in I think another movie
I think
recently.
I think they maybe did it in the remake. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they did. I
it come
remember
back?
I remember seeing that in the remake, but I want to know why Bernie was in it. Weekend at Bernie's, and he was a
Yeah.
zombie at one point, wasn't he? Or no, he was just dead.
No, he's just dead. Yeah, he was reanimated. But yeah, he's the doctor. He's Carrie's doctor. I mean, all I can say about this one is just simply Carrie versus Jason. But it's directed by John Coral Buechler, who was an effects guy who worked at Empire Movies
Okay.
during the 80s.
okay.
Yeah, so worked on things like Ghoulies and...
Dolls, maybe?
Yeah, I think he worked on Dolls, yeah. Did Cellar Dweller as well, which I kind of like. But, so yeah, he kind of knows his way around effects. And this one feels a little bit more effects-driven for Friday the 13th movie. During the final showdown between Carrie, as I keep calling her, because I don't remember her character name, and it basically is Carrie in disguise.
It was kind of snooze fest, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and
it wasn't.
lots of violence was taken out of the movie as well, because a lot of people say, well, the kills are quite tame in this. It wasn't necessarily the fault of the producers or the filmmakers. They were really coming down hard on censorship at that point in 1988, so it feels quite tame compared to some of the others. One memorable death, though, is the main bitch, the blonde girl that just gets flung. Do you remember that one? Where
Yeah,
she just
across
gets,
the room
Yeah, it's just
into
like,
the
get out
TV.
my fucking way, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, even that, it's just brutal Jason now, which is still not the weirdo Jason from the early ones, in my opinion. I don't know. It's just my opinion of it. I'm not a big lover of Part 7, I'll be honest.
No, like I said, it's boring. A little snoozy.
And not, yeah, other than,
fall asleep
yeah, so
on that
basically Carrie and Bernie is all we got to say
Bernie.
about that.
I wish there was more Bernie in it.
Yeah, so
I think
do I.
he turned out to be kind of evil or something, didn't he? Like he was trying to do something to her.
He was a bad man.
Yeah, he was a bad man.
Okay, so moving on again from there, that brings us to Part 8. We're up to Part 8 now. This is Jason.
This is when he travels.
This is Jason Takes Manhattan, right? What they should have called it is Jason on a Boat, Jason Takes Canada.
Well,
because basically, the funniest thing about this movie is it's called Jason Takes... Friday the 13th Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan yet. He doesn't arrive at Manhattan until the last quarter of an hour. And even when he does, it's not even Manhattan. It's somewhere in Canada made on the cheap.
Really? But
Yeah.
they made it look like...
I think there's one shot of Times Square or something that they went back and shot for
yeah,
like a minute.
I would say they would have to do that.
One shot though. The
One
rest of
shot.
it, don't kid anyone, is like almost feels like a soundstage. It's so bad.
Oh yeah,
so
because
cheap.
weren't they in alleys or
Yeah,
something?
and it
Like
looks
he
like
helped
that-
some girl like
yeah.
getting raped. He becomes kind of a hero. Like he helps some girl.
He's the Avenger in this one.
Yeah, he's the Avenger Jason.
Jason goes to Canada to play Batman, basically.
I like how he's very he's on the boat like disappeared. They had like
they're
this big
all on the
party.
boat.
They had
They're
this
all on the
big
boat.
party on a boat for like an hour.
Yeah, and it's I know I'm falling asleep at this point, thinking, come on, I want to see Manhattan. Do you know what I mean?
Right. I just want to know how he stayed hidden on that boat for an hour. Like, where did he go?
There's a whole bunch of kids on that boat as well. I don't know if you remember, but they seem to disappear.
I know.
He's killed about 6 people, and then those previous 20 people that we've seen at a disco on the boat have all disappeared.
Oh yeah, they were at a disco.
Where were they?
That's
Where's those over
hilarious.
20 kids over at the disco?
See, I didn't
Shit.
mind Manhattan because it's gonna be like Jason in Detroit soon, but it's gonna be even better. And we have the Detroit River, which Canada is right there. We might even like incorporate that. Maybe we'll put them on a boat.
Again, it didn't
Yeah.
work the first time. Hope. Don't put them on a boat.
Oh yeah, no, we'll have to put them on the ferry boat.
It doesn't work. Once
Bravo
Jason goes
boat.
anywhere near the boat, it is not working out. There's some silly deaths. I think he hits somebody with an electric guitar in the face. He punches some young kid's head off on a roof, if I remember correctly. Which is, for me personally, one of the lamest scenes in the whole franchise.
Oh yeah, he's getting hit left and right, and then Jason just does one punch, and his
And
head
off-
pops off.
And ends up in
It's
a
the
bin.
roids. Yeah, it's the roids.
It's,
It's the water roids.
it's got to be, because he punches his head clean off. And
Yeah.
into a bin it lands neatly.
Yeah, that
And then
was
you
a
got the
little
whole
boring.
bit in the sewer at the end where they're underground and the acid comes out and burns Jason's mask off and he's got that silly cartoon
Oh
face.
god, and
it's
it comes out.
absolute
It's kind of like
shit.
that, almost like a Beetlejuice or something. Like when they,
It's showtime.
yeah, like or when their masks come off and they do that googly eyes and
Yeah.
all that good stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's like their head.
Except for it's not good.
No,
Not good stuff.
it wasn't good at all.
but
It's
yeah.
been used already.
So Jason takes Canada or Vancouver or wherever he went. It wasn't Manhattan. And yeah, the film didn't make money. So for the first time, not for the first time, but it really didn't do what everyone thought it was going to do, and it kind of flopped. And that kind of ends the run of Friday the 13th movies for, I think, 4 odd years, until New Line Cinema picked it up in 1993. When they put out Jason Goes to Hell, which possibly could be the worst movie
Yep.
in the whole franchise. I mean, I don't care for Jason X, but I mean, even this one pushes on Jason X.
No,
for
I
being
think
poor.
if we were to do a survey, that would probably be on the top shittiest.
Do you think it would come out that bad?
Oh yeah, because every person I've asked is like, "What's your worst?" and it's Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah. So yeah, this is New Line Cinema picking this one up. Basically, only buying the franchise so they can cross it with their Nightmare on Elm Street one that they own already.
Oh, with
So
that
this is-
shitty ending.
Yeah, so this is
Yep.
a real slight technical move by New Line. We'll put out a movie, but we'll put the movie out, but it'll feel like a trailer for the film we really want to make. The one where we're going to try and rob all your money off you by getting you to believe that Jason fights Freddy, which we'll get to in a second. Jason Goes to Hell. Again, it's Kane. Steroid Jason. I mean, I've got no enthusiasm for this guy at all. I think this is the last one he does, though. So that's good news for me, but not for his fans. And the
No, wasn't he in Jason X?
Oh god, yeah. See, that's how much I remember Jason X. I could hardly keep my eyes open
I
during
don't
that
mind
one.
Jason X, but we'll get there.
So this, basically the plot of Jason Goes to Hell is that it almost feels like The Hidden. I don't know if you've ever seen that one with Carl McLaughlin from
I don't
1987.
think so.
Which is a cool movie where an alien kind of being comes down and can travel through body. You can go from body to body.
God,
but it's
he
a
goes
cool,
to body. Yeah.
But the Hidden is cool. This is
Yeah.
just a poor man's Hidden.
Well, you don't want Jason to be,
Well, we've had
you wouldn't
Jason.
think about that.
We've had Zombie Jason, Jason versus Carrie, Jason Goes to Canada, and now we've got Jason
Possessed.
remakes The Hidden because it basically is that movie.
Was
And
The Hidden before?
1987 is a great movie. This is just absolute rubbish. I've got nothing else to really say about it. They blow him up at the beginning. At the beginning of Jason Goes to Hell, he's being hunted down by the police, if I remember correctly, and they blow him up, and his art kind of, lands on the floor and is still beaten. It's that stupid.
He can't
movie.
die.
Well,
Unless-
yeah, it's all finding out,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
I guess unless you chop his head off like a zombie, right?
It didn't. Yeah, but they blew him up into bits, and his art is still beaten on the sides of it. Really don't know what to say about it. But like I said, I think the only point you can really make about this movie now is that it ends as a precursor to the film that it really wanted to make, which is Jason versus Freddy. But before they get to that one,
Yeah.
they've got to keep fans on side, should we say? We've been saying that this film didn't do that well, and they kind of. Not that they hung back on the old idea of Jason versus Freddy, but it just didn't happen for such a long time. And in the meantime, as Hope points out, we have Jason X, Jason. We were too embarrassed to write Jason 10, so we went with Jason X with Roman numeral Jason X, which came along in 2002, I think, for this one. Yeah, because there's a big 10-year gap from Jason Goes to Hell. So yeah, 2002 we have Jason X, which again plays on the gimmick theme, but this time it's Jason. It's Friday the 13th remakes Alien, right?
Okay.
It's basically what we're doing. We got Jason in space now, which really.
I liked it. It was different. He was in space. He had a cool mask. It got like updated. His outfit was a little bit more updated.
I'm not sure if it's a cool mask. It's
I
pretty
liked
poor.
it. The mask got updated. It was shiny and silver, and he was space looking. I think it looked really cool. And then there was sex on the spaceship, and then the kids got killed, and I think there was a couple good kills on that one. Yeah, but I didn't mind it. I didn't mind Jason X. So wait, number 9,
Yeah,
is that
Jason Goes to Hell.
Jason Goes to Hell is 9?
Yeah.
Okay. Jason X, yeah. And then Freddy vs. Jason came out?
Yeah. Can I just point out though for Jason X for a second? It's just basically Alien rejig. There's a cameo for David Cronenberg in there though, which is the only thing that made my eyes open up for about 2 hours.
See?
I
You
woke
liked
up
a
to
little
see
bit
David
of it.
Cronenberg. I was, it was David Cronenberg. And
Oh, you loved it.
And then I quickly fell back asleep.
Oh, you love
The
it.
CGI kills took me out of it.
Oh, God. Well, yeah. I didn't mind it.
I'll be kind. So yeah, Jason X, he makes, does his job, makes some money. Thank God we won't have to put up with Kane anymore. And so the following year, they finally get the vehicle that they wanted to put together in the first place. We finally get this big Freddy versus Jason.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
I think you can even hear the enthusiasm dropping out of my voice. The last 4 movies.
Yeah.
My enthusiasm is draining.
I don't want to see them fight. They don't need to fight each other. They should band together. They should just band together and killed. Well, they did kill the kids. Well, Jason did, didn't he? If I remember. I don't remember if Freddy killed any of the kids. Some of them, maybe.
Oh, it's just such a bad movie.
It's been so long since I've seen it, and I just erase it from my mind, so...
I think that's for the best. Anyway, 2003, Freddy vs. Jason, directed by Chinese director Ronnie Hu, who directed Bride of Chucky, one of the later entries in the Child's Play series, which was very successful.
Yeah.
Enough for the producers of this one to kind of go, oh, you would be cool. You can breathe some life into this dying, and it is dying franchise. We'll bring him in. He'll, give some energy back to the filmmaking and stuff, which I suppose he owes his end up, but it doesn't feel anything like a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. It doesn't feel remotely anything like a Friday the 13th movie. It feels cobbled together.
Yeah.
Again, the cast, Destiny's Child is in there somewhere.
Kelly Rowland, I think her name is.
I don't even remember.
was in it.
I remember reading her name on the credits, but
Even,
it's just such a poor movie. It's so bad.
what's her name? Catherine Isabel couldn't even save it. I
No.
know she's got a large fan group.
Yeah.
So she couldn't even save it. but saying, I don't know, maybe it's just me and you, because I know there's a lot of people that
It does
are
have fans, yeah.
Yeah.
But which I don't understand, because I'm such a, as yourself, we're purists. I love pure Nightmare on Elm Street as it was. I like Friday the 13th as it was. This just doesn't feel like it belongs to any of it. It just feels like something completely. If anything, this feels like a music video or a computer game or something. Like I said, Ronnie Hu does his job of making it into something that fits in with today's, what what most people want for today. Then it's not what I want, but
Yeah.
so he succeeds in that respect. But it's just such a bad movie. It's
Yeah.
badly written. The idea is just frankly ridiculous, right? That Jason goes to sleep so Freddy can come into his dreams. It's like, who wrote this shit?
How did the
Jason
zombie
takes a
he
nap.
yeah. So he's zombie Jason. I didn't know they could dream.
What he does. Do zombies dream? Yeah, they do. There's the answer to that
He
one.
went to space. He's traveling
been
man.
to Canada.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been to Canada.
The only thing that I really remember,
Manhattan.
the only thing I really remember about Jason versus Freddy is the end scene where we finally get this big battle we've been promised by the title, and they come together for this fight at the end, which is frankly one of the worst fights I think I've ever seen in any movie.
It was terrible.
It's again CGI, surprise, surprise, which I fucking hate and looks awful here, and. It does feel like a pure computer game. I mean, Fred is fucking jumping around the screen like he's Bruce Lee. Honestly.
Yeah.
It's honestly, check it out again if you haven't seen it for such a long time. Just check it that last 10 minutes because it would be some of the worst filmmaking you have probably ever seen. It is fucking diabolical. I hate it.
And I met that Jason. And that
Yeah.
was one
So, yeah,
Jason I wish. I mean, I just didn't care to me, but he
You
was.
met him, no?
He was tall and big and like
I will say to you,
Jason-esque.
I hope meeting the guy who played Jay. What was his name again? I feel very
Ken
unkind.
Kurtzinger, I think, something like that.
Kurtzinger.
Kurtzinger.
That one, yeah.
Yeah, mhm.
But the fact that I Hope met him is more eventful than anything in the entire movie. Was he a nice guy?
Oh, he was super nice. He didn't want to be seen, and I'm like, dude, you're like almost 7 feet tall.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to hide when you're that tall, isn't it?
Yeah. And I don't know how you can't be hiding at the bar, because we were at the bar, and he was
and
my friend Vicky, who made him stand up and do a twirl because she was like, "Oh my God, you're so tall," and he did. He turned around for us and showed us everything.
he showed you his machete.
Yeah, he showed us his machete. But he was nice. He took a picture with me. I think
Cool.
I can't remember who he was with, but Udo was next to him. Udo Kier.
Who you also met.
Yeah.
The call.
So it was pretty
Nice,
funny.
yeah. We'll have to put the picture up for people
and I
who
met
didn't see it.
yeah, and I met Nancy from
Everlangen Camp.
Yeah.
You didn't call her Nancy, though, did you?
No, I should have though. I wish I would have. But
Just
she was
called her
super
that,
sweet. Yeah, she was sweet.
Okay.
And just all hanging out at the bar. So I wish I would. I wish I didn't have the heart. I didn't have the heart to tell him that he sucked in the movie.
Well, that his movie sucked. I mean, he did his bit. He walked around and
he walked around, and he is a good Jason because he's big and stocky, kind of like how I would want, like
Well, Kane's big and stocky.
No, not stocky like that. Like just big and chesty and tall. So yeah, he was very tall.
Okay, and he seemed like a cool guy.
Yeah.
It's just a shame, like you said. Once again, don't blame the actor.
No.
It's just a shame that he made one of the worst movies in the whole franchise for me.
Yeah.
So so that brings us bang up to date. Friday
Yeah.
the 13th.
Remake.
Yeah, the last thing we have left to talk about in the whole franchise then, because I'm sure, frankly, there's not much more to talk about. Not for me personally, but yeah, we will. Obviously, the last thing to talk about, so we must, is the remake.
Yeah.
Which, like I said earlier in the show,
Sex, drugs, and killing.
Yeah, completely ramped up to a whole new level though. Produced by Michael Bay, who was, like I said earlier, is big, Hollywood Transformers type guy who's got the franchise, which is really sad.
Which was going to start the new one, right?
Yeah.
Like, there was supposed to be one out in October, I think 2018.
Yeah.
And because that Friday, it fell on Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Somehow it just got botched up and they didn't bring it out, which was very disappointing because it was talked about for a little bit. I don't even remember what happened, but it didn't get made, obviously, which is very disappointing. Or is it? I don't know, because it probably would have been shit. So
if the track record was anything to go by, yeah.
Yeah, with the track record and the remake, if he did that one.
And there's like such big gaps now. I mean, Jason vs. Freddy's 2003. The remake, which we're touching on there, was 2009.
Oh,
2009. So there's a
okay.
gap between that to that one.
Yeah.
And they were 10 years on. And I think there's something to do with, like you said, as you just pointed out, I think it's something to do with rights, though, and stuff.
Yeah.
That's why this is being held up now.
Okay. So do you think it'll be resurrected? Will he come back for another one?
Personally speaking, and I mean this, my heart, I hope not.
Yeah.
I don't think there's nothing else to do with it now. It's so stale, the franchise.
We don't want it to turn out like Halloween 2018. at
No.
all. No, that's
And
just
Hope
terrible.
could give her true feelings on that, but we really probably don't have time.
I
now.
will. I will someday.
Yeah.
I will definitely give my feelings on that when we do the Halloween
Yeah.
show. But yeah, I don't.
And trust me, kids, you are in for a treat.
I'll get my list out. I think I
Yeah.
wrote 10 points of what I hated about it. But the one thing you should be doing is not go to camp now, as if anything it tells you about these stories, right?
Yeah. is
Don't
what
go
we've
to
got.
camp.
Absolutely. As Crazy Ralph would say.
It's got the death curse. It's got the death curse. Don't go.
Yeah, which is definitely the best tip that I could give anyone. Yeah.
Oh, Crazy Ralph. Did they bring him back in the remake? I can't remember.
No, the remake was I mean, I haven't got much to say about the remake. Other than it basically they tried to cram the best ideas from 1, 2, 3, and 4. It was like, let's take the best bits from the first 4, which we've highlighted earlier in the show as being the best movies in the whole franchise anyway. So they took parts of those 4 and built a movie around them. You've got a barn scene, you've got Jason's mum in there, you've got the Jason Hunter. So all the little ingredients from, yeah, I know. I really don't know what to say. It's
Just terrible.
I didn't care for it at all. Like Hope said, they've ramped up this. There's more sex in it. There's more violence in it. But it does the worst thing any horror film does. It forgets to be scary. It isn't remotely scary. It doesn't work in my eyes. It's just, again, I don't know.
Crazy Ralph, though, was a good bit in it. I don't know why they didn't bring him.
I can't remember if they did Crazy Ralph or not.
Yeah, I can't remember either. I probably don't want to remember.
No, and I don't even want to go back and find out. I just in my head it never happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so just suppose that takes us kind of out of the show. Just before we do finish, though, I want to dedicate this show to Michael Talbot and Jason Reed, who I know are both massive fans of this franchise.
Yeah, and hopefully we touched on some good...
Hopefully we've
good
kind of
stuff.
covered all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people probably want to know what Hope thought of Violet's dance.
Which isn't new wave, no.
So new wave.
It's not.
Okay, so...
She had the look, kind of. She stole it.
Yeah.
But join us on Facebook, Sounded Vision, and find us on Instagram. Come see us.
Absolutely.
Be a part of our group.
But until we meet again, I guess it's time to say goodbye. So it's Z and James saying goodbye.
And this is Hope saying goodbye.
Goodbye.